Today we're going to be talking about the M1 MacBook Pro in 2023. This laptop is still fast, reliable and responsive. Now the first thing I'd say that this laptop is going to depend on what use case you use. If it is going to be mainly for media consumption and going on the internet, this laptop is going to be fantastic. But if you want to do heavy video editing, heavy photo editing, this laptop is definitely not something you should be looking for. I'm going to get that clear straight away. But if you're doing anything extreme, you're definitely going to want something a bit more powerful, maybe a similar price Windows laptop. Or if you want to get into the Apple ecosystem, look for a more expensive maybe 14-inch or 16-inch MacBook Pro. Now, if you are looking for this, you're going to make sure you want to get the storage right and your RAM right, because I've got a 256GB version and it's got 8GB of RAM. Now, this was fine when I first got the laptop, but as I've started to use the laptop more files have gone in, more applications, it is just not enough. 256GB on a laptop is abysmal. So if you do get this option, you're going to need to have a lot of cloud storage, or like me, have a hard drive you hook up. Now, the RAM only really becomes an issue when you are doing more extensive stuff. Like me, I'm using this laptop to edit all of these videos and to make the thumbnails. Now, it is absolutely fine. You just have to be used to having the pop-up coming up saying that you've used all your RAM and also using an external hard drive, because video files can get up to over 100GB if you let them. And honestly, for me, I add a lot of layers and you have B-roll and you have different things that are coming in throughout the timeline, which makes the MacBook throttle. Now, I have noticed that this laptop can no longer handle 4K 60fps video, which is a shame, so I have to pin all of my videos down to 1080p. When you watch media, you're not going to have any of these issues. You can still watch 4K 60fps amazingly and still have a really long battery life. Let's get on to that. How is my battery life after 3 years of ownership? Now, I definitely say that this laptop hasn't done badly. I've only lost 3% in battery health, and that has been over these past couple of weeks where I've been using this laptop more for all this video editing and Photoshop. It's definitely taken a toll on the battery, but I've definitely noticed that the media consumption rate has not gone down. Like, I can still watch the same amount of media and still get the same amount of battery life. As long as it is over 90%, you are not going to notice it, I don't think. Now, the 13-inch M1 MacBook Pro will be one of the last laptops to have the touch bar. Now, the touch bar is amazing in some circumstances, but it is so annoying in others. For example, in Final Cut Pro, I have a system where all my B-roll gets muted and I can just click the touch bar and I can click silence. Whereas if I want to change the brightness on my laptop, I can't just click a key. I have to hold down a screen, then swipe up. Same for the volume. You can't just quickly click a button, which can become an issue when this thing breaks. Now, I don't mean break as in smashes, but I mean in the software. Now, you can have freezes where it just doesn't work, but all the icons show up, or for me, is more common, just nothing shows up where the touch bar should be, which is an issue because if I want to turn down my sound, I have to go into my control center and then turn down either the brightness or the sound. So take that into consideration, that if you are running a lot of applications, you're running heavy things on it, your touch bar is actually using some of those resources and it's going to stop working if you use it too hard. One of the other things I'd say is that this laptop only has 2 USB-C ports and 1 headphone jack, which is going to be fine if you're doing media consumption and you are plugging in maybe a mouse and keyboard, but you are going to need to have a dongle. Right in this second, I have a controller hooked up to this laptop and a hard drive hooked up, and that is using up 2 USB-C ports, which now that is all my USB-C ports taken up just by 2 devices. So you are going to have a dongle, and this is also going to be a situation if you want to cast your laptop to the TV, you're going to either need to get a dongle that converts USB-C to HDMI, or you're going to need to be streaming. Now, you can only have up to 1 big display on this laptop because the CPU and GPU cannot handle having more than 1 external monitor. So just do take that into consideration. If you do want to have more than 1 monitor, you can't. It is just not possible. But this laptop does hold up well in 2023. It has still got that nice Apple look, and still people recognize it as the iconic Apple design. Aluminium, built well, the big trackpad, which is absolutely amazing. Honestly, it took me a while to not believe that that trackpad wasn't clicking, because it still felt like the trackpad was clicking. This trackpad is amazing on this laptop, and it still gives you that feeling of that nice satisfying click. Trackpads on MacBooks are like no other, and this laptop is no exception. Now, one thing that was an issue with the old Intel MacBook Pros was the butterfly keyboard. This has been fixed, and this keyboard is absolutely lovely. You can type on it for ages, and you're not going to get any sticky keys, or you're not going to have any keys that don't work. This keyboard is just reliable, and that is what you need when you're looking for a second-hand laptop, is that all the keys are still going to work, and there's no issues that will only be resolved if you have a warranty. This keyboard is going to last and you don't have to worry about it. Now, one of the main reasons people get a MacBook if they have an iPhone is because of the integration, and the integration between this laptop is still amazing. You still get all your calls, texts and emails come through on this device. Now, so if you're looking for this feature, this is on all of the MacBooks, but it's honestly such a lovely feature to have. One other amazing thing on this laptop is how thin it is. It is honestly so thin, and it is so easy to put in a travel case or put in a travel bag. You're not going to have to worry. This thing is really thin compared to their new MacBook Pros. This thing is amazing. Honestly, the speakers on this laptop are really good. I mean, they are not the loudest, but they have tone and you can hear what people are saying clearly, and listening to music on it is actually amazing. Let's go on to my final thoughts. So I said that the M1 MacBook Pro is an amazing laptop, but it's in an awkward situation because the M1 MacBook Air is still there, which is, I'd say, a better buy than the M1 MacBook Pro. Now, the reason for this is it's going to be cheaper and it is offering the same package, an M1 chip that is honestly still going to be absolutely fine, and it's still going to be fine with no fan. So, would I recommend this thing? Would I say to someone, yeah, go out and buy this laptop? I wouldn't say that I could. Now, the reason for this is because it is going to be more expensive than an M1 MacBook Air, and it's also probably going to have less storage. If you can find an M1 MacBook Air that has a decent amount of storage, at least 512 gigabytes, and has the RAM that you want, then definitely go for this, because this is going to be honestly one of the best options you make is the M1 MacBook Air, because the M1 MacBook Pro is just that middle child, because it doesn't offer anything more than the M1 MacBook Air other than its fan and maybe the touch bar. But I definitely say go for the M1 MacBook Air. That is my final recommendation. Unless you want any of the touch bar or you want the fan, MacBook Air exists, and this thing is honestly amazing. It is offering the same M1 chip, and it is offering it in a cheaper package, and it's also going to be able to get you probably more storage, the same experience, and it's going to give you more storage if you go for the same priced M1 MacBook Pro. So I'd say that you can definitely find better options with the MacBook Air, so I'd definitely go for that one. So thank you for watching. It's been Harry. I'm out. Peace.